I'm Larissa. Hi. I'm the Chief Communications Officer at Julius Baer. We're a partner of the GREENTECH Festival, and I'm here with Nico Rosberg and with Patrick Prince, my colleague from Julius Baer. So, Patrick, why did we partner with the GREENTECH Festival? Obviously I know, but it would be nice if you could repeat it again.
Exactly. It's because we like them. So at Julius Baer we have selected a couple of communities where we want to be active. It can be young partners, can be family office foundation. Green tech, technology, sustainability is one of them. So it perfectly fits with our values. So innovation, entrepreneurial spirit, dynamic, passion, pioneering. So that's all values we share. It's also a good complement to our long-lasting engagement with Formula E. So for us it's a fantastic platform, dynamic people. So it's exciting.
Yes, clearly we love it, Nico. But from your perspective, what are the shared values that you have with Julius Baer?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very proud. I'm a co-founder of the GREENTECH Festival, and we're in our third year now. And it's an honor for me to welcome Julius Baer into our network as a partner. And because finance is such an essential pillar for us to really, I've got the sustainable development goals here on my suit jacket. It's an essential pillar to be able to reach those goals in time, because finance can support those companies who are doing it the right way today in a big way, and can also exert a lot of pressure on those company sectors that are not doing it the right way. So it's really important.
So are we doing everything right? What else do we need to do?
Oh no, we're not doing everything right. But there's a lot of progress that's happening. Particularly in the finance world, the most beautiful thing is that the chances of making the highest returns sometimes at the moment are in sustainable investing. And that is such an amazing lever. Because in the end, investors will primarily be searching for returns. They want to do good, but they'll returns first, most of them. And so now the highest returns are in sustainability. We look at ESG funds last year. They outperformed the S&P in many cases. And this is fantastic news.
That is great. I will talk about investors in a minute, but Patrick, the role of the financial sector, of us as a bank, where do you see our role in the promoting of a carbon-free economy?
I think we definitely have an important role to play. We all know that there must be changes. We must reduce the carbon footprint. We are now just hopefully exiting a pandemic situation, so there's a lot of money going into recovery, conversation, also a lot of investment. The big part comes from the government, so 20 trillion the governments will spend for the recovery, but it's not enough. So private sector also needs to play a card. There it's our role to guide, give guidance, identify the right investments, the right methodology, and support our clients to invest. So it's definitely an important role. Private assets are also, private investors, they're more flexible, so they are less regulated, so they're easier to go to the different spaces. And that's where we see also the interest from our client side, so definitely more to come.
So you're talking about supporting clients. I've been looking at ESG a lot, yeah? And where you as Julius Baer can really also get a head start and make a little bit of an early difference is that, the guidance for ESG ratings, yeah? It's all over the shop. Really, it's terrible. It's really a terrible situation. And you've got Shell who's A-rated, you've got Rio Tinto who's A-rated, just because they're, in terms of their sector, in a better position than their peers, primarily, yeah? But that's not an A rating, seriously. And this is where we still need to make a lot of progress, and I love working together with you on this as well. So on my portfolio now, of course I need to stay neutral or whatever, but I've trying to go one step ahead and kind of tailor-made kind of a subjective carbon filter on top. Because that's going to be the next step. It's going to take a few years. And I think that could also not only be the right way to invest, but it can also enhance my performance. So this is something that I'm very excited about.
I'm fully with you, and that's why it's also our sustainability investment process is twofold. So you have the traditional ESG criteria, positive, negative, whatsoever. But then we have a second filter where we want to invest in trends. So we have identified about 5 trends. where we think, okay, this could be in the future, there is the biggest development. So it's not only the ESG as such, it's more, it's trend, future going forward, and that's part of our process, so I'm fully with you.
But Nico, you said something that is very interesting, I think. Do you think investors should challenge their banks and their financial advisors more to give them the information that they need to make sustainable choices?
Very, very important. In my experience, I've always seen that, because as good as a bank can be, Julius Baer, every investor is different. Every investor has so many subjective needs, and it's really a lot down to us to go to the bank, to push, to ask, provide me more information this way, that way. I think that can really make a difference, and because it's just never going to work if the bank is always coming towards you. It needs to be a two-way thing. Yeah. And I've also, with my relationship with Julius Baer, I've really had a lot of great developments as a result.
So clients need to become activists. Are we prepared for that?
We are getting better. We are getting better. I mean, the banking world is a little bit conservative, so we have to change also our mindset. But we definitely see it also. I mean, I'm often in contact with clients. I mean, on average, our clientele is a little bit older, so the next generation is coming. So a generational shift is on the way. They're definitely much more involved in other things than just the financial results. They want more with their investments. I mentioned community at the beginning. For example, if I talk to family office foundations, their sustainability is a must. Also, interestingly, for example, if you talk to female investors, much more awareness about other important aspects than just financial results. So we definitely have to shape up also on our side.
But I think it's very wise how you're really embracing this opportunity to be part of connecting people, be part of creating partnerships. That's why you're here as well, and that there's a lot of power in that. I think it's a very smart move.
Yeah, it's both sides. It's both sides.
Sorry,
it's not only we are not only sponsored and that's it. So we try to give input, and we also take a lot out of it. New ideas, innovation, the spirit, the passion. So we're happy.
So, and it's also a source of funding for the great startups that we see presented here. What other source of funding do you see as an investor in this field? Do SPACs play a role? What kind of sources of funding do you see? Institutional, private, SPACs? Where do you see funding coming from?
In order to accelerate this positive change? Yeah. I mean, if I look at Germany, then there's the risk capital. I'm sometimes struggling with the English-German, but there's not enough capital allocated to the more risky investments in the insurance funds, in the pension funds, compared to someone like the US. And this is a big problem for startups in Germany, or a big weakness, let's say, because just in the phase where a startup needs a lot of cash to scale up, a lot of capital, there's some lacks. And I'm hoping on the next finance minister to potentially maybe be able to implement some change on that front. But let's see if it's possible. The German public is a bit resistant to that because they see it as risky, and they don't unfortunately see enough of the long game and the importance for us as a country to innovate, and the power of startups to play a role in this innovation and in this process. So that's a bit of a pity. I hope some change can happen. Personally, very involved in startup investing, mobility primarily, and I've been on the other end of SPACs. So I've not invested in SPACs. I've been involved in startups that have merged with the SPACs. And one example is Lilium, flying taxi, and it's an exciting time.
So it's an inspiring experience that we can take away, and bringing together people. I think that is very much the mission of the GreenTech Festival. So would you say mission accomplished?
Mission accomplished day one. 1 day left. And because that's also a very powerful opportunity to create impact. If you connect people, create partnerships, and they build something together, that's sometimes the most valuable.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time in a busy and very hot day. Let's see what happens today. Looking forward. Thank you very much.
We're going to have some very emotional moments today as well. We have Robert Redford, who's going to be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. Jane Goodall, absolute legends in the field of sustainability, participating. It's going to be a special day.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.